Today we're taking a look at the 2015 Nissan Rogue S, the base model. We're going to go over the standard features, find out what's new in this new body style. We're just going to cover about the features in the S model only. We're going to have a couple videos in the future talking about the differences when you upgrade to SV and SL. So for now, let's get started and take a look at the 2015 Nissan Rogue. Changes on the outside from the previous model are actually quite substantial for 2014, and this 2015 model is complete redesign. So if you're going to compare it to the older Rogues, you're looking at a completely different car. So body style, interior, engine's a little bit more refined, so completely brand new. But what you do get standard on the Nissan Rogue S is you get these nice daytime running lights. So you don't have to pay extra for that. Kind of in the shape of a boomerang. That's kind of what Nissan's moving towards right now. You have daytime running light standard. No alloy wheels on the outside. You're going to have to upgrade to the SV, and then the SL gives you a different design there. What you do see on the outside now is standard turning signals. So just something small, but it looks really, really nice. Coming here to the back. Since this did debut in 2014, it does not incorporate the corporate floating roof effect, but maybe in the future, refresh might include that. Now, what's changed here in the new Rogue, to open up the trunk, it's actually not underneath the Nissan sign anymore. To actually do that, there's a little button here that you're going to see on all of the models S, SV, SL. The difference is that on the SL and SV with premium package, it'll open by itself. On the regular S model, just press it. You just have to give it a little push and it'll do the rest for itself. Now the interior, as you can see, it's a complete different. So what's new in this one is obviously you have now what's called the divide and height. So you can configure this many different ways. Some of our cars that incorporate this now are also the Nissan Note and the Nissan Rogue. So what it means, you can, like I said, just do a couple different things with it. If you want to hide that underneath there, you want to bring it out. And the thing about this is actually you can operate it with one hand. That's one thing Nissan says, and it's actually really, really true. So you can always lower that section it off completely, have something different here, something different here, put it lower to the ground, or even completely take it completely off. So whatever you want to do, you can always do that with this one. Little hidden compartment underneath here, and then you have the spare tire underneath the car. If you go for the Nissan Rogue S, which is this one, but with the family package, you're not going to have this anymore. So what's going to change here is the fact that, well, you're going to have 2 extra seats. So 2 extra seats doesn't give you much room. You do get this one here only, but with the 3rd row, you're not going to have the second divide and hide. Another change you're going to see if you go for the Nissan Rogue S with the family package, you're not going to have a spare tire anymore. It's actually going to be replaced with run flat tires. So that's just one thing there to note. But yeah, the interior, comparing it to the older model, completely different car. It definitely looks a whole lot nicer, a lot more refined, kind of showing you what Nissan is moving towards now in the future. So along with the reliability, now giving you a really good design. Moving on with the changes, you can see it looks really different on the outside. Like I said, whole different body style, complete redesign. The cool thing about this new model, you get way better gas mileage. What you used to get on the highway with the previous Rogue, you actually now get in the city. So reported numbers are 26 miles per gallon city, 33 miles per gallon highway. So actually best in class gas mileage. 175 foot-pounds of torque, 170 horsepower. So actually one of the more powerful vehicles in its class, and you know, one of the best looking too. With those daytime running lights, it's really hard to miss this Nissan Rogue as it's driving by. You get that corporate V-motion grille. You do get that, so it kind of gives it an illusion of motion. You see the V-motion. Just gonna take one quick walk around before really getting into the rest of the video, just to give you a really good view of the Nissan Rogue. It's actually really spacious, really beautiful design. So coming right back to the front, corporate V-motion grille, really attractive design. So aside from the obvious design changes on the outside, we're going to see the rest of the differences once we go on the inside of the Nissan Rogue. So why don't we open it up and go take a look. See, even the design of the doors, the material that they use, completely different. Keep in mind, this is the base model. When you get soft touch here on the armrest, here where you lay your hand is actually leather. A really attractive design, similar to what the Nissan Murano has evolved to, but in a more affordable family vehicle. As you see, once we sit on the inside, it's actually tunnel Legroom, really spacious to both the driver and the passenger. This one here, this one has the cloth seats, stain resistant material, really nice pattern to it. If you want to go for leather seats, you would have to actually upgrade to the top of the model SL. But most consumers actually would be happy with the features that the Nissan Rogue S offers. Taking a look at, first of all, the dashboard is completely different. So it incorporates a different iteration of the drive assist display. It first debuted on the Nissan Altima. With the Nissan Rogue, it's actually a little bit different. Very similar system to what the Nissan Murano and Maxima use. So the screens is pretty easy to operate. This, you change the screens forward here. You can see we're alternating displays. You go back here. So if you press it a little bit too far, you can actually go back as well. I'm gonna go through all of the screens kind of to show you what it offers. So this first display really does nothing. It's just for display. You can see a picture of the car. It looks nice, but that's pretty much it. That's all this display is really going to do. Moving on to the next one, that's your range. So it'll let you know how many miles are up to. The tank's empty. As you can see right now, it's kind of on the emptier side. You have about 95 miles left. It shows you your average speed. So all this information depends on how you drive. So but it's going to adjust for the way you drive, and so really pretty cool information that it'll offer you. So if you're heavy footed, it's going to adjust to the way you drive and show you pretty cool information there. Next one is your average speed. So depending on how you drive, you can always just take a look at that. Your distance meter. So if you're going on a trip, you can see how far it is, how long you've been driving for. So you see how long it takes you to get to a certain destination. That one is your instant miles per gallon. So I can't show you this right now, but I am going to take it on a little drive a little bit later. You're going to see how the bar actually adjusts. So it shows you instantly how much miles per gallon you're actually averaging on the Nissan Rogue. So it's a really helpful screen, how to teach you how to be more fuel efficient. It shows you what radio station you're on, what song's playing. So that screen's pretty helpful. So you don't have to be constantly looking at the radio display right there. You're going to have that information right there at all times. Your tire pressure. So once I actually take it for a drive, I'll show you that too. So whenever your tire is low, it'll actually let you know how the individual tire pressure of each tire. Let you know if you need to put air in it, or maybe even take out some air in the tire. So really helpful screen. That one is the chassis control. So what it does is going to talk about some of the safety features with a Nissan Rogue. So briefly going over them, what it does have is active ride control. So what that means is that the vehicle is going to stay, or at least try to stay as level as it can at all times. So if you start going over a bump, it'll start like braking some of the tires, maybe the front tire or the back tires, just to make sure that when you go over the bump, you're going to be able to go over smoothly. It's also going to tell you about your active engine braking. So if you're going downhill or stuff like that, you don't have to physically engage the brake all the time. The vehicle is smart enough to know to kind of slow you down using the engine. And active trace control. It means when you're going through a curb, the Nissan Rogue can kind of sense that and will brake the tires individually to make sure that you can go through that curve a whole lot smoother. So some of the safety features that Nissan have, actually class braking, not really many vehicles in the same class actually offer those features. So definitely something nice to have. Coming down here, the user controls, we can explain a little bit more. You have obviously a tachometer and speedometer here to the right and left. You have audio controls here on the steering wheel, so you can put the volume up. As you can see, it starts going up. Volume down. Change your presets here. Change the source, so you can see FM, set radio, all that good stuff. So as you're driving, it's really convenient. You can really control your audio systems here. It'll also change the songs if you have your phone connected to Bluetooth. Cruise control, and then the button that you see down here, these are the Bluetooth buttons. Setup is actually going to be pretty easy. You can do it all through voice, or actually here through the settings screen, add a phone through Bluetooth and everything. Now, the advantage of that, you can make and receive phone calls without ever having to take the phone out of your pocket. play music to Bluetooth and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty cool. You also have app support that's going to be supported in Bluetooth. So we'll talk about that in a little while. You have your controls for the lights here. Automatic headlights are available on the trim above this one. Now down here, the cool thing about the 2015 model in specific, you have both Eco and Sport buttons. So what that does, Eco is going to change the way the car drives, so it's going to feel a little bit slower. You're going to get better gas mileage. It's going to adjust the power on the AC to make sure you get optimal fuel economy. Sport, as you can kind of figure it out by yourself, Sport's going to give you all the power the engine has to offer. So you are going to be wasting a little bit more miles per gallon, but you get the full potential of the car. Yeah, taking a look at the design of it, it's actually not bad. It's really attractive design for a car in this price point. Like I said, leather, everything feels so high quality. It's pretty much everything's at your fingertips where you would expect it to be. So the side mirrors are going to be here. Adjust the side mirror, so get that adjusted there. You have AC vents all around the car, and even in the rear. I'll show you that once we get there as well. Let's see. Yeah, definitely a really attractive design once you go to the new model. So if you're comparing it to the previous model Rogue, you don't think it's that big of a difference. It's actually really, really big design difference. Now, moving on to the entertainment. So this is where your radio screen display is all going to be right here. This is standard. Again, this is not an option you have to option out. The new Nissan Rogue is actually coming with a whole lot of standard features, even backup cameras. So shift the car into reverse. Every single Nissan Rogue is going to have a reverse camera. If you go for the SL or SV with technology package, you actually get have a bigger display for that. Continue on, you have the radio controls here. You can select AM, FM, and all that good stuff here. Satellite radio has its own button here. Media, that's going to be for your auxiliary, which is right underneath there. USB and Bluetooth audio. So as long as you have your phone connected, you're going to be able to use that. Apps button here, so you can use stuff like Facebook, Pandora, iHeartRadio. On Androids, it's going to work through Bluetooth. With iPhones, you're actually going to connect it through a USB. And speaking of USB, there's actually one cool thing that's actually standard now in the Nissan Rogue, as you can see there. So you do get USB standard. Doesn't matter which model you go for. Obviously, this is the base model, and you do see them there. Auxiliary, you have your power connection right there. In the glove box, if we open it up, you see you have another one right underneath there. Just a little hidden compartment here, so something small. Cup holders, phone holder right there, toss your phone right there. But the shifter is a little bit different, so it just looks just nicer, pretty much. That's one way to describe the new Rogue. In every sense, it's going to be nicer than the previous model. So all the buttons, anything that you look at, anything you touch, you feel. Even this dashboard here at the top, instead of being plastic, it's actually really soft touch. So not bad. Definitely not bad at all. And manual adjusting for the seat. Power seat's going to be available on the upper trim level. This one, so you can pump it up, pump it down, with your hands. Either way, it's just a seat. You set it, forget it. Don't have to really worry about that anymore. We're going to move on to the back and take a look at what's changed there. Again, that design language I was talking about in the front travels to the back, so you still get soft touch here in the armrest coming inside. So cool thing about it, it's actually really spacious, and what's called stadium seating here in the back. So when you're sitting in the back seat, you actually sit up a little bit higher than you do in the front seats, and on top of that, you still have a lot of headroom. So taking a look at me, pretty tall, I still have a lot of headroom. Now, positioned the way I do, you see the driver and passenger have a lot of space, but here, me in the back, I have actually plenty of legroom. So I'm definitely going to be comfortable on a long ride. You can also even recline the seats back, so if you want to get even more comfortable, you can recline it forward or backwards. So you can sit at an angle, and all three of them adjust kind of independently, so you don't have to worry about that. You have rear vents here, so most cars are kind of going to forget about the passengers in the back when they add AC on the base models. The good thing about the Rogue is that you have AC vents in the back, in the front, all around, so you're actually going to be pretty well ventilated. here. But yeah, as you can see, definitely a very comfortable ride. If I was gonna go on a road trip on the Nissan Rogue, I'd be really comfortable. It's been kind of a brief run through all the features that are standard and new on the 2015 Nissan Rogue. I guess all that's left is to put this car into drive, and let's go for a spin. So we're starting a test drive in the streets of downtown Los Angeles. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm probably not going to be able to record all the test drive. For safety reasons, obviously, because I just don't want to get a ticket as I'm driving holding the camera. So yeah, let's get started. So as we start driving, you can notice that the vehicle actually accelerates super smoothly, partly in fact because of the CVT transmission that it has, Nissan's Xtronic CVT. It's actually really smooth acceleration, accelerates pretty quickly. You definitely feel the 170 horses right away. Tends to be kind of a little bit of traffic in downtown, so obviously I'm not going to be able to really floor it too much to see how quickly it accelerates. But if traffic does clear up, we will really test out the Nissan Rogue, try all the power that it has. But handling wise, just daily driving is one of the smoothest cars in its class. Really super quiet, as you can see. We obviously don't have the radio on for licensing reasons, but yeah, as we're driving, you know, the car we don't really feel any of the other road noises or anything like that. That's partly in fact that it does incorporate all of the safety features that I talked about earlier, like the active ride control, active trace control as you're going through a really sharp turn and everything like that. Again, like I said, the angle that I'm going to be recording at sometimes is not going to be the best for obvious safety reasons, but we're going to try to make do with what we have so far. So I'm going to give you a quick look around of everything how the car looks as we're driving. So let's get on it. All right. So it turns really smoothly, accelerates fairly quickly, as you can see. I don't have to get on the gas too much and the car starts going. Still gonna get really good gas mileage. Now, how I mentioned earlier about the whole tire pressure and everything, as you can see here, the fuel economy is set not too bad because we're kind of in traffic, so I'm not driving the most fuel efficient, especially because of the test drive. But let me show you the tire pressure. So you can see that has already adjusted now to the tire pressure that the vehicle does have. If there's anything wrong with it, it'll kind of let me know, so you know, I'm always going to be able to stay ahead of that. And again, just driving down the streets of downtown LA. So you can definitely feel the power that the car has. So super smooth. So part of with the 2015, the Xtronic CVT, it will actually simulate a shift under hard acceleration. As you can see, it got to close to 60 pretty fast as I'm driving, and it's like nothing for this vehicle. The revs don't go too high up. It stays quiet for the entire time. So one thing with the CVTs of Nissan is actually one of the best in the business. So Nissan has been in the business of doing CVTs for actually quite a while, and as is obvious in this new iteration in the 2015 Nissan Rogue, it's less friction than a CVT, a whole lot quieter, and it's made for better fuel economy. So you really get to use the engine to really peak performance and getting the best performance coupled with the engine and transmission. The engine's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, the same engine you're going to find in the. That's been kind of a quick rundown of the Nissan Rogue S model 2015. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. There's going to be a SV and SL soon to come.